In this video, we are completing step 11, select a single column. So we want our users to be able to select one or more columns from our data frame. In this step, we are just going to have them be able to select a single column, and we are going to use the brackets operator in order to do this. So the selection will look something like this: df open brackets, then the column name as a string, and then the end of the brackets. Eventually we will allow our users to select in a number of different ways. But in this step we're only going to do selection for a single column. So we will get to the other column selections in a little bit, but for now we will just do a single column selection. So in order for these brackets to have these brackets work with your object, this is again part of the Python data model that is just built in, inherently into Python. So if you want these brackets to work with your object, you need to define this getItem special method. So this getItem special method is triggered whenever somebody uses these brackets directly appended to your object. Whatever object is within these brackets gets passed to this variable right here, to the very first parameter. So we're just going to call it item. You can call it whatever you want, but we're just going to assign it to as the variable name item. So in this step, what we're going to do is we're going to handle the case whenever a user gives us a single string in here. We will return a single data or a single column data frame of just that column. Okay, so let's go inside here, and what we're going to do is if item is a string, so if the user has passed us a string, we are going to return a data frame of just that single column. So this is actually going to be a fairly simple thing. We're going to use our own data frame constructor, which requires a dictionary of the column name. So in this case, it's just item, and it's going to be mapped to a single one-dimensional NumPy array. Well, we have our one-dimensional NumPy array in by accessing it through our data dictionary. So we'll just put in item like this. So this should work out. So here's our inner dictionary that we're passing to our data frame constructor. We're simply creating a one item dictionary, and we're just returning within here, we're getting that array. So that's all we want to do. We can go ahead and see how this looks in the notebook. So I like to test this out manually. So here's our data frame. That's our pandas cub in its current state. So if we want to get the state column, it looks like that's working. We want to get the school column, that looks good too. So it looks like it's working. Let's go ahead and run the test. It's called test one column. So here we go, test one column. And it doesn't look like this has actually worked. So there's no such name as test one column. So it looks like I've actually must have changed the name of this. So let's go in here and correct that. So if we go in here and test select, oh, okay, that's why. Because it's an entire new class, so I made a mistake here. So now, if I actually read the instructions, I would have known this. It's in the test selection class. So I improperly called PyTest. So if we look up here, and so this is a good segue to actually take a look at the testdataframe.py file. So the tests are broken out into different classes. So I've used classes to categorize different tests. So we've finished the test data frame creation part of the, of this file. So I put all of these selections inside of a new class called test selection. So let's go ahead and let's get this back up here. So we're no longer in this test data frame class, we're in test selection. So improperly called the test, and now it found it, and now it passed. So, and you'll see in the notes exactly what class it's under. Anytime there's a new class, I will write that in the notes. So I just was not paying attention to my own notes. Anyway, so I fixed that, and it looks like I've passed the test. So that completes step 11, where we select a single column from our data frame by placing a string within the brackets operator.